Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh yeah, look at that. Stacks. And I guarantee like a big portion of you have like 50 of those things, man. It's crazy. Yeah, dinar rate change talk, as usual. Remember, Sauter, when he campaigned, he said he was going to do something about the exchange rate. Now, having said that, calm down. We don't know what it means. There's people out there thinking they're going to reinstate the old rate. I'm talking about the $3.22 rate. There's nothing out there that proves that. The only thing right now that we hear about is Sauter wants to change the rate back. It could be back to the 1,190 dinars for every dollar. All I know is if he's not careful, he could really damage an economy if you make it too strong. But lots of news about this. Sauter's government's not even formed, and already he's putting a smackdown on criminals, corruption, and doing something about helping the poor out by changing the rate of the dinar. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button, and if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, right now is the time to shine. Head on over to Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. So as usual, whenever there is talk of exchange rate, I will get a ton of messages of people asking me about this. What do you think it means, Pimpy? I think it means exactly what it says. They're going to address the exchange rate. I know what people want to hear my answer to be, but I'm not going to make that kind of commitment because there's nothing out there that indicates this. All they're talking about is changing the rate. For all we know, it could be 1 dinar they're changing it. Sorry, I was trying to do that with a straight face. I'm just going to go on the assumption that they're going to change it back to the 1,190 dinars for every $1 US, which is what the rate was before last December, or I should say the December before last. Now, there is talk about it going as low as 1050, so that's 1,050, which be nice. Right now, the exchange rate is 1,450 dinars for every $1. If they actually dropped it down to 1,050 dinars for every $1, you're looking at about a 27.5% increase in value. And a lot of you people out there have some pretty big cha-ching when it comes to dinars. And I know you guys are waiting for the big payday, and I told you, in my opinion, I thought it was going to get here, but just not overnight. That doesn't mean I'm right. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm just saying you're going to see it go up in increments. How much? I don't know. But Sauter's pretty serious about dealing with this exchange rate issue. Al-Kazemi's advisor, it is time to address the side effects of the change of the exchange. Well, we know it disproportionately always affects the poor. Not only that, it causes the value of everything to go up. Look what's happened here in the United States. Look at inflation. They have printed out so much money. I'm surprised this number wasn't higher sooner. If they really wanted to protect the economy, they would revalue gold and silver. Says the financial advisor for Kademi, Mr. Souley, confirmed today, Thursday, that the time has come to address the side effects of the exchange rate change and its effect on the income, while warning of double financial slope related to unemployment. Yeah, the unemployment over there is terrible. Currently, it's sitting at 13.74% unemployment, which is causing the youth over there to get real restless, because those are the ones that are most likely to rise up and protest. That's why the additional oil revenues, they really need to start investing them into building more of the private sector. Get these people back to work, get them off government aid, get them in there paying taxes. Souley said the time has come for fiscal policy to play its active and important role in addressing the side effects that resulted from the exchange rate change and its effect on income, especially the negative impact of the poor and low-income classes by price failures without compensation. He added, usually the transitional effects of the exchange rate depreciation on monetary income corresponds to positive fiscal policies with influential social and economic effects within the income range. creating a counter price effect that generates positive or real income effects that help stabilize the standard of living for the low-income social classes. So the aspect is directly related to the importance of reducing customs taxes in a tangible way on imported foodstuffs, medicines, and local production supplies, as well as restructuring government support for goods and services that directly affect the poor social classes. See, when the prices of everything goes up, you need more dollars to buy stuff. While you don't want them printing more money like we're doing over here, think supply and demand. The more of a dollar that's out there, the less value it has because there's so many of them. He pointed out that the most important thing to start adopting employment policies for the unemployed and expanding the cash income space with additional and exceptional measures that lead to the employment of the unemployed in a tangible and comprehensive manner, and creating sources of cash income that increase the welfare of society. Unemployment today is one of the most serious economic and social scourges in the country and becomes more dangerous when accompanied by price developments that lead to the erosion of cash income or purchasing powers of family income sources, as it is double financial slope that must be avoided. So Sauter has put in some proposals on how this is going to happen. 6 to be exact. Number 1 is to stop the smuggling of currencies forcefully and firmly, as well as forged invoices. To look into the matter of some banks, such as the Middle East Bank, Al-Quad, and Al-Ansari, that belong to each other, persons controlling the currency, and some other private banks. So they just use each other's banks to launder money. That's what they're doing. Immediately summon the director of the central bank under the dome of the parliament, summoning the minister of finance under the parliament immediately, regulating the Iraqi currency market centrally and in the correct manner, and by enacting some laws that increase the value of the Iraqi Dinar exchange rate. Dealing firmly with some banks belonging to some of the parties that control the country and the people. No bueno. So Sauter said in a tweet, the Iraq parliament summons the minister of finance and the governor of the central bank. So sure enough, you have the minister of finance and the governor of the central bank coming in to see parliament. So Sauter's proposal included, according to a statement received by the news, strongly stopping currency smuggling, looking into the matter of some banks, such as the ones we talked about, belong to some people who control the currency, and other private banks, and dealing firmly with the banks belonging to some parties controlling the country and the people. What I guess he's saying is that some of the political people that are making decisions that affect the money also control the banks. To organize the Iraq currency market centrally and in a correct manner by enacting some laws that increase the value of the dinar exchange rate. We like that. That's what we want to hear. It is noteworthy that the annual inflation in Iraq rose significantly after raising the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar. It is worth noting that all prices of materials and commodities in the Iraq market witnessed a significant increase in conjunction with the devaluation of the dinar, which is normally what happens anyways. So a lot of these articles do repeat, so I'll skip that one. Sauter and Barzani agree to hold a meeting soon for the Triple Alliance. I'm sure one of the things we're going to definitely want to talk about is the oil law that just got smacked down by the Supreme Court. Speaking of, Saleh calls for the need to launch a serious and urgent dialogue between Erbil and Baghdad. To sum it up, basically what's happening is this could cause a lot of tension between Kurdistan and Iraq. They were already trying to handle some stuff that was unfinalized, but now to have the Supreme Court come down and say, hey, not only do I want you to stop drilling for oil and stuff, but I also want you to return all the product that you did drill for, and then compensate all the money that you made off the oil. Yikes. Now, this article's a lot of interesting things about it that caught my attention. Iraq has banking secrecy clause lifted from smuggled money in Switzerland. Okay, first of all, why would they have a secrecy clause? This is something that the whole world should know about. If a government of a country or any of its politicians are smuggling their currency out of the country and putting it in Switzerland. It says on here, Iraq is a step closer to identifying the amount of money deposited in Swiss banks by the former regime and recovering it. The president of the Federal Commission in Integrity told the news. They said this comes as part of a campaign launched by the Prime Minister al-Kadhimi to recover the smuggled funds and to stop the country's wealth being drained through various companies and people. Now you know why it is that Sauder is the way he is with Maliki. Smuggled funds are divided into frozen and unfrozen funds, believed to be stored mainly in Switzerland and Scandinavia by members of the former regime of the late President Saddam Hussein, as well as money smuggled through corrupt deals following the fall of Hussein in 2003. So they're saying there's about approximately $300 to $350 billion that have been smuggled out. Under the UN Resolution 1483, members states have agreed to transfer funds deposited by former Iraqi regime officials to fund the reconstruction of the war-torn country. Listen to this, though. In the same context, NASA announced that 11,605 officials, including 54 ministers, were involved in corruption deals during 2021, with 15,290 charges brought against them. Told you, when al-Kadhimi got in office, he wasn't playing around. He said he was going after senior officials, but he did have some hurdles in his way. So with Iraq getting its money back from other countries that were illegally stolen, we saw that 300 to 350 billion sitting over in Scandinavia and Switzerland. That is a huge dang chunk of money. I'm wondering how much altogether has been taken out of the country and that they're going to recover. Because if you think about it, and yes, I can already hear people doing the Pimpy dance. Okay, so listen. We know that 55 trillion dinars were printed. Now, if all 55 trillion were still around, there's no way you could do a rate change. Because even for a dollar, Iraq does not have 55 trillion dollars. Even if it was for one. What you needed to do was somehow, some way reduce the amount of currency that was in circulation. And we know that happened. The rumor is 72% of the currency has been destroyed. We saw recently that the money that ISIS stole out of the bank was recovered but damaged. There's water damage, so destroy all that money. I'm sure they have to take down the serial numbers, keep track of it, burn it, destroy it. So if 72% of the 55 trillion was truly destroyed, they're still sitting at somewhere around, 13 trillion dinars? That's still a lot. But like I said before, a lot of countries are holding the Iraqi dinar in its reserves. What I really want to know is how many of those dollars are in the hands of the actual public. That's what I want to know. Because it could be a number that's low enough that they could afford a rate change. The exchange rate is not going to happen between us and Iraq. It's going to be us and our banks. Then our countries would deal with the exchange with Iraq. But to be quite honest with you, I could see them just holding on to the dinar and building up the foreign reserves, especially if the Iraqi dinar increases in value. Reserves would be a lot more valuable. But let's go with baby steps for now. Sauder's looking into this rate change. He has gave some proposals. A lot of people got arrested, and we know there's some big dogs getting ready to be investigated. I don't know what it means, but we're going to find out. But Sauder looks like he's serious about keeping his campaign promise. We're going to see the rate change in a positive direction for the Iraqi dinar. Yay! But don't get overly excited. We need to figure out at what level is Sauder talking about. And what government he gets implemented makes a big difference as well. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.